So Lamelo Ball is projected to go really high in the 2020 draft. ESPN's got him at number 3, and I've seen some things even suggesting he could go number 1 overall, which, that's pretty wild, but let's talk about this. So, comparing him to Lonzo, the handle is there. I don't think he's as good of a passer as Lonzo is. I think in terms of highlight passes, he is. In fact, he might even be more exciting than Lonzo as a passer. But when we're talking about the boring things like reading defenses and predicting where the help is going to go and all that, I think Lonzo is better at that than LaMelo is. Granted, I have not watched a bunch of LaMelo Ball stuff, but I've done some Googling because nothing else I really can do. But when you trade that in for some more shooting, which LaMelo certainly has over his brother, and you combine that with how good of a ball handler he is, and the fact that the dude's 6'7", yeah, I can start to see why he could be projected so highly. If you look at teams that could potentially end up with one of the top 3 picks this upcoming season, whether it's, the Knicks, the Hornets, insert 4 other teams. Those teams need somebody who can be a real source of offense, right? And if you can make shots off the dribble and you can be a decent enough playmaker, then there you go. I can certainly see it with LaMelo. Now, there's other questions about it. Defensively, apparently it's nowhere near as good as his offense is, but at the same time, with his size, I think, number one, you can put him on whoever on opposing NBA teams, and most of the time you can get away with it. Assuming that your guard rotation is not terrible defensively, put LaMelo on the worst perimeter dude on the other team and you'll be fine most of the time, But even then, are we sure he can't end up being a good to very good defensive player? I guess a lot of that comes down to effort, but again, if you're 6'7" and you give a crap, I think you can go pretty far. Now, he doesn't have that big of a frame. He's also 18, 19 or whatever, so he's going to have time to fill out. By the time he's 25, he could look like a totally different dude. And to be fair, even if the defense does end up just being underwhelming, I think it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, and potentially not even that big of a deal at all. Now, I think another interesting thing with LaMelo is his mental side of the game, because this is something I do know about, even if I haven't really kept up on the Ball family like that, is he's very confident, bordering on cocky, bordering on egotistical, whatever. It's probably a good thing, because you got to have the confidence to be the leader of an offense and all that. One of the criticisms you can throw at Lonzo is perhaps he's not confident enough in terms of just give me the damn ball and let me create something, or we need a big shot right now, I'm going to take it. At the same time, Lonzo's not a great shooter, so take that for what you will. But I think LaMelo is wired differently than Lonzo in that respect, which is of course good. Now, there have also been questions about LaMelo's maturity, which I don't put too much stock into, because I'm pretty sure all of that talk was happening when he was 16, 17 years old. Yeah, if you're going to pick a time to be immature, that's the right time to do it, Now, I don't know. Is there a chance that he shows immaturity in the sense of getting frustrated with refs, potentially taking plays off defensively because something didn't go well on offense, or he kind of throws the ball to a teammate and then just stands in the corner because he's pissed about something? Maybe, I don't know. That's the type of thing we're not really going to know about until the NBA. But I guess if you really want to be cynical about LaMelo being this high, then I guess those could be the things that you could be skeptical about. And I guess to dive into that deeper, if LaMelo really is as good offensively as some people believe he is, including ESPN and whoever else, then there's a chance the dude's going to be a number 1 option, if not in his rookie season, not too far down the road. Depends on the team he ends up on, all that stuff. I get that. But that could force him to mature really fast. I mean, you have to mature quickly in the NBA period, but there's a chance it could be even accelerated if he ended up on, let's just say, Charlotte, okay, where he steps in and, barring them doing something crazy over the next whatever months, probably becomes the number one guy. And maybe he can handle that, maybe he can't. Don't know. I think with how mature Lonzo is, that's a good sign. I mean, the fear is with how long Lamelo has been in the spotlight, that could mess him up. I mean, we're bleeding into like Justin Bieber territory, but you know, that can have an effect on someone who's 15, 16, and they're basically already a celebrity, and having LeVar as your dad and all that. And, you know, I do think LeVar has learned some things from the way he was bigging up Lonzo so much, and I think he has calmed down a bit. Maybe that's just because of LeBron in LA and because LeVar's been dealing with the other two brothers, but again, we're just going to have to see. That's kind of where it all comes back to. It's the idea of, like, on the floor, it seems LaMelo's definitely talented enough to get the projections of, you know, where he's at, but off the floor, and also his behavior on the floor, you know, that's a little bit of it too. All that's going to be really interesting. But again, you know, based on just the consensus around his talent, I'm not really shocked. I guess the only thing that would be surprising to me is the fact that I just didn't keep up with the Ball family like that, so I just didn't know he was on that kind of a trajectory. So, yeah, LaMelo Ball, he will be in the NBA, and he could be even one of the top picks, so hope he doesn't suck.